Welcome back, friends, to Occultists Anonymous. It's going to be an interesting one. Sponsored by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you very much to everybody who supports us monetarily on Patreon. That's staylucky.club or patreon.com/occultistanonymous. Starting off with a rumored Archmage, Adele, Al, Alan Michael, Alexander, Algos, Bernie, Blood Angel, Brandon, Doc, Emil, Graves, Jack, James, Jenny, John, Josh, Julian, Cat Feathers, Crazy Man 1772, Melissa, Michael, Milo V3, Moku, Nova, Orange Turtle without Jello, Perry, Puppeteer, Ramon, Roivistrat, Ryan, Sebastian, Cinna, Seranus, Terry, Thomas, Vortex, Weiss, X-Ray Kill, and Zoltan. Thank you all very much for your support, and thank you to everybody who's out there subscribed, following, and chugging right along with us. Or all the few who are still going through the backlog, because still to this day our most watched episode any month is still our first ones. So God bless those people who don't ever make it past those first two episodes, which were rough. Noctowl says X-Ray Kill in honor of Songbird's X-Ray Kill of Wide Goro, or Daddy Goro, or Goro Daddy. Yeah. So yes, very good stuff. Yeah. So when we last left the Cabal, they had killed Goro, the Stalker, had disposed of his body via, handy dandy werewolves. Excuse me, vampires. Oh boy, we are 3 minutes in. This is
warm it up. Gotta warm it up there, Drew.
Oh boy. Yeah, and then kind of settled in. We're kind of slipping into a little more downtime, a little less immediate tasks that need to be done. We don't have a low wisdom mage with a long-term nimbus floatering along a connection or anything like that. So there's a little bit of downtime. And during that downtime, actually, I think the day after or the night of the kill, Atratus went out and had some party time with the werewolves, which is cool. But also had the rampant condition, which is not cool. And Atratus basically let me treat her like a werewolf in Death Rage and said, yeah, we don't have to play through what happens. I'll find out what happens later. Which is always great. Manic
dissociative fucking magic rampage.
Yes. Absolutely fucking terrifying. So it's been a couple days. You guys have had time to recover some willpower, because you guys were really pushing it, recover some mana, because I think Weird was probably pretty close to empty.
How many do we have left?
How much?
Just all of it?
How much what?
Willpower and mana do we get back?
Between the fact that, Songbird could fix your guys' willpower
Songbird can
in
fix
an afternoon. And then, mana you'll have to kind of figure out. But in my head, it's been, 3 or 4 days since it's passed. So the Hallow by itself is, would have generated, say 20 points of mana, and then Weird's Hallow is another, 2 each day? I can't remember how many dots you have in that Hallow. Yeah. So that's another 8. So you have some of that to kind of, nudge around a little bit. And I don't know if there's anything you guys are specifically doing. I imagine part of downtime is going to be hey, let's recoup and recheck on, wards around the area, check up on some of the stuff that the junior members of the Rookery have, been working on. Things like that, figuring out, okay, these are mysteries that we need to get rid of because they're endangering our people and stuff like that. And so, Songbird goes, okay, which one needs to go away? Voomp. Okay, it's gone. Some of that kind of stuff. Other things are being ooh, this is an interesting one. It's safe. We're going to leave this here and see if it nudges people into, awakenings, that especially if it's happening in your guys' territory. And now that you have all 5 paths reflected, if somebody awakens in your territory, you guys are going to fucking know it. And you just have to be...
At this point, if someone awakens within most of New York, we'll know it. If it's
That's very true.
us specifically, our path specifically, because it's mile per gnosis.
Per gnosis, right. But yeah, I meant very specifically your area because you will undoubtedly be the first to get there, and can hopefully beat the Mammonites over there, who fortunately tend to stay behind their walls. But yeah, it's been a couple days. Has there been anything you guys have specifically sat down to do or anything like that in the kind of downtime side of things? I know. How often do you work on your rote songbird? Is it once a week? Or no, there's no limit. It's just
there's no limit.
Yeah,
I can roll a couple times if you like.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think that's probably because as far as I know, that's the thing that you've been working on.
Yeah, yeah, it's that, and then I'd like to, at some point in this next couple days or whatever, see if Pip will teach me some more life stuff.
Gotcha. All right, because you need a tutor for that one. So yeah, you can go ahead and roll that.
Prime plus persuasion or prime plus athletics is what I said before.
Yep. Is there any other specific downtime activities you guys are following up on? Because I know we talked about weird, for instance, you working on a rope, but then you kind of set that to the side, so I don't know where you're at with that. We'll come back to you. It's your coughing. And I don't know if Atratus is up to anything.
I wanted to just study Grave Soulstone and Soul a bit more.
Okay.
I don't really know what I'm looking for. I have a detached mage soul. I want to do a deep dive into checking it out because working with souls is kind of what my whole legacy does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we don't need to delve into it too much. A lot of that is kind of the stuff that we talked about before, of seeing some bits of his memories and story and stuff like that you get from that. And I think you'd probably do that a lot with Q and the as of yet still unnamed other apprentice.
The other one.
Yes. Listen, Atratus doesn't have favorite students or anything, but if she did, it's definitely Q.
I was giving you the chance to make one.
I know, and I keep it just keeps right back. I mean, Weird has one student, Borsine, so you having to, it's fine. I just got to remember to actually make one.
So Weird would have spent the last couple days in sort of seclusion, spending time by yourself a fair bit. But towards the end of that, wanted to set up an in-person meeting with Shoda.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I think that's probably those couple days of seclusion is probably when you work on your gnosis potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, basically you, Q, and your other apprentice who's about to get a name right now, so we don't forget. And I'm doing this during the video because that way, if I forget to write this down for some reason, it'll be in the video. Because I'm trying to remember, it was supposed to be another Moros, right? But this one was from
the Center over.
Right.
So probably Free Council, Moros.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
what have you found?
I'm going to blame this on the name generator, but it also is just too good to say no. So yes, Factory sends over one of her own personal students, one of her people that she mentored up, and said, "Hey, this is probably right up your alley," and introduces you to a young woman named Dreadnought, who studied under Factory, and it's like. Yep.
Even in death may I serve.
Oh, yes, even better. Oh, we're definitely leaning that direction. Yes. I was thinking of, just a big battleship, but yeah, no, Dreadnought, even better. With a name like Dreadnought and being a Moros, let's be honest, it's a very Chris style of woman. If you don't know what we're talking about, come by Discord because trust me,
she's a beefy sword lesbian is what you're talking about.
a thirsty sword lesbian on Kickstarter now. Go check them out. It's Freaking terrific. It's not related to Onyx Path. That's just my personal shout out to them because it looks fucking awesome. But yes. And so, yeah, the three of you basically, especially in my head, delving into another person's soul who's not around anymore and their soul stone and stuff like that. This is one of those things you use the buddy system. And everybody kind of links arms, and we're going to jump into this things of Neros, or what remains of it, and we're going to explore together, and nobody get out of line, and keep eyesight on each other, and we're going to deal with this together, and then when it gets scary, we all get out together kind of thing. But very, very good Ebon Phoenix kind of stuff, especially since you can come in here and look at stuff and experiment and nudge stuff and see what happens without worrying about actually harming somebody who's still alive and around.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys definitely delve into that. Pip is more than happy, by the way, Songbird, to tutor you in life, and that actually probably happens at her sanctum, which she has set up. Her sanctum would probably Weird and Pip probably have a similar aesthetic, kind of leaning towards the like whimsical kind of thing, but where Weird is very fairy, Pip is very gnome and dwarf, and more this sprightly dwarf rather than like Tolkien dwarf. Right. And yeah, she takes you to a old abandoned subway station and beyond to like a section of dirt and rough stone, a hobbit hole, if you would, that she has carved out and set up shop in. And it's very undergrowth and, roots coming through. And yeah, it's that kind of subtle workings. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think then we pick up with a meeting with Shodell and Weird. Is there a specific place that you're wanting to meet Shodell, or
someplace private?
Sure. Wow, Guardians, they're meeting up and they want to meet in private. Who knew? Yeah. All of our other meetings, except for the one with Hiptot, was in public places. This one, we would ask for a private spot. Sure. Back at your sanctum, perhaps, or.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys, by private, do you mean like, a booth at a bar kind of thing, or
no, like a Guardian's private?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
What's this about Guardian's privates? Weird.
Something. Never mind. Not even going there. But yeah. I think Shodell actually meets up with you at the same safe house where you first did your supernal summoning way back when. Sure. Says actually, hey, this place? Yeah, let's meet up there. Neutral ground. Shodell, especially deciding to be someplace private and sounds like someplace that's neutral ground to you guys. Like he's like, okay, what's this all about? As he kind of lets you into the place.
Weird kind of paces for a few seconds. We killed a mage.
We've heard.
His nimbus was bleeding all along his connections. He had modified it. He wasn't even really human anymore.
Sure.
That event has kind of made me think about a few things. I've never really been a good guardian.
You've been a terrific guardian, but no, you've not been a very stereotypical guardian, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you picked me to be the ambassador to all the other orders, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm the least guardian-y guardian that I know.
Accurate.
And I mean, I didn't get it before.
Get what?
I mean, I know the idea. We protect the awakened world from itself. I understand about the temptations of hubris, but I didn't get it. And dealing with the stalker made that all very real for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the awareness that, like, that could be me.
Are we having confession time? Weird.
No, I'm saying like that the same draw and the same temptations that led the stalker down that path are the same things that I deal with. I don't give in to them, but
the temptation is there.
But the temptation is there, and that could be me, and that could be you, and that could be
any of us.
Of the awakened.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to let you know that I get it, and I'm willing to do more.
Okay. Do you have a specific thought of what type of service that you're wanting to give? Or, I mean, you are as tied to a cabal as I have ever seen, and as I understand from your legacy, quite literally. What are you thinking about?
The Rookery is going to have to come first from decisions I've made, but beyond that, whatever the Guardians need me for.
Okay. Well, I mean, as far as I know, we need you where you're at, but I mean,
yeah, but I can do more beyond where I'm at.
Okay.
I want to do more. I want to take a more active role than the one I've been filling. I'm totally okay doing what I'm doing, but I'm looking to do more beyond that.
It feels like this could have been a phone call. Weird. Is there's something else? Or
no, I just wanted to. It's hard to get tone and expression and meaning on a phone call, and I wanted you to understand that this is a big change for me.
Okay, I get you.
I mean, I'm an account. Those words are important. They need to be spoken to.
I'm a Mastigos. Distance doesn't matter. So no, I get where you're coming from, though. I mean, let's be honest. You're a master mage at this point. Like, you don't need to be talking and reporting to me, though. Like, I'm the herald for the Consilium, but if you're talking about Guardian work, like, there's one person that you go to.
I know. I was hoping you could facilitate that introduction.
I mean, you have the...
Just call them.
Yeah, I was to say. I mean, you've spoken with Vala.
But, right, but I've also got, like, a track record. So part of the reason I wanted this meeting was for you to understand where I'm coming from.
And that
so that you could help me overcome my track record. I've been a really lukewarm Guardian. I know that. And everyone in the Guardians knows that as well. That's why they picked me for this job.
Sure.
So I came to you because I wanted you to be an advocate for changing of the role or an expanding of the role.
Okay.
I mean, if you think that's not needed, then that's fine.
I know what I'm assigned to. I know my duties. There are some that you might be able to help with, but at this point, I have apprentices for that.
Sure.
At this point, especially as you're teaching at least one member of the Silver Ladder, and you're watching over a member of the Adamantine Arrow and the Mysterium, and the Mysterium. Wow, you have a lot of Mysterium folks in that cabal. I'm just saying.
Well, it was kind of a Mysterium cabal.
It was initially a Mysterium cabal, yeah.
Yeah. But keeping an eye on them is probably the first step. And I will kill Vala. I will call Vala.
Hold your horses. This took a turn.
Yeah, jump forward 6 episodes. It's the apocalypse episode, and Vala is dead. No, I will give Vala a call. Let them know that you're interested in expanding your role, and to be expecting your call, because you call Vala, and otherwise, reach out to some of the other guardians. If you're not wanting to pick up something that is your own responsibility, but to kind of ingratiate yourself in with everybody else,
this isn't about getting in good with my order. This is about,
if you want to get more involved with the order, reach out to Vala, and they'll give you whatever work needs doing that you're suited to. And if you would prefer a more introductory role, check with the other guardians. I mean, let's be honest, Camiel always needs assistance.
That's what I thought. All right.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, it's been good chatting with you. And yes, we have FaceTime. We could have done this, but I also get it. And fortunately for both of us, it's a quick walk home. So are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Pat you on the shoulder, and then is gone.
And I'm gone an instant later.
Right.
And back to the Rookery.
Right. Cool. But yeah, it is while Weird is gone that there's a knock at the door of the Rookery. I imagine that Atratus, Q, and Dreadnought might be in deep meditation over this orrery in one of the rooms. But otherwise, I imagine you guys, for the most part, hang out at the Rookery. Unless Songbird is off with Pip. But regardless, Judd answers the door and lets in... hang on here. That's what I get for... I need to have multiple tabs open for Conca, but I'm bad at that. New York Consilium. But yeah, let's in Colossus, who kind of does a quick check of the room. Says, "All right, when Atratus is available, let me know." And Judd kind of nods and, "Yeah, I'll poke my head in and see what they're doing," and scuttles over. Well, scuttles. Judd walks. Walks over to
human shaped.
Right. And
he's suddenly a 500-year-old crab.
I'm telling you guys, as soon as I get the Deviant book, we'll find out how many arms and legs he actually has. All right.
Can't clock this crab.
Yeah, kind of pokes his head in and sees the 3 of you guys and goes, okay, and writes down a little sticky note and just puts it on the orrery. It says, Colossus is waiting to speak with you, and just leaves that there and just kind of makes his way back out. Inside your dreamscape, basically Q looks up and goes, hey, Judd just came in.
Okay. How do you know that?
Oh, I thought Mastigo's yeah, no,
oh, the two minds bit?
2 thoughts, 1 mind? Yeah.
Okay.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Dude. Yes. I can do 2 mental tasks at the same time. One of them is delving into a soul. The other is looking around and perceiving things. Yeah.
That's handy. I should do that. I can do that.
And looks over at Dreadnought. I taught her something today. And then I imagine like you guys kind of grab arms and floop your way out. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, Judd is, out and sitting with Colossus. Colossus now has a Coca-Cola. Actually, no, he doesn't have a Coca-Cola. That's over in Bird's place. He has coffee. And Titus is chatting with him about Forge stuff. Because Titus is not great at any one thing, but boy, howdy, is he a jack of all trades of everything you guys have ever touched. Because he doesn't work magic, but he'll stand over your shoulder and go, what is that? Okay. Like read over your guys' books and go, some of this kind of almost makes sense, but not quite. And like, you can definitely tell Titus has gone from being like, man, being a sleepwalker sucks because I see all this stuff to it sucks because I can see all this stuff, but I can't do anything about it. I definitely have this sense of like, he's hoping for that successive awakening.
Yeah, his second chance because he's going to say yes this time.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, he bailed on Pandemonium.
Yeah, if he doesn't wake up to the worst path first.
Right. Yeah, he bailed on Pandemonium and yeah. That's
I thought
a
he
rough
bailed.
one.
I thought he was
Oh, no, it was Moros. It was
Yeah,
Moros,
he was Moros.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to make fun of Atratus, that's all.
Sure. Well, I couldn't tell. Were you making fun of me or were you making fun of yeah.
Because Drew identifies very closely with a certain path.
Yeah.
I mean, I balance,
Canvas,
but
right?
it's really leaning Mastigos these days, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll
But yeah.
pop up out of the virtual room and come out and see what is up.
Hey, and so Colossus kind of, stands up, his towering, 6'4" over whatever Atratus is, and it's like, hey,
she's like 5'8". He's not that much taller.
Okay, that's true.
I mean, that's still a lot, though.
Yeah, it is.
8 inches.
Can we talk Moros to Moros?
Sure.
Cool.
Do you want to talk privately? Yeah.
Probably not in front of your students.
Yeah.
That would be, can we use that same room and just
sure.
Yeah. And sits down, shuts the door. Well, actually, you probably shut the door. He's the guest here. And sits and says, so okay, Moros to Moros, I'm here as the Sentinel today. Not Songbird's mentor or and you can tell he is super not pleased to be doing this and is feeling kind of awkward. He goes, so word has come around and well, did you have a fun time with a pair of werewolves the other night?
Yeah, we went out and sort of celebrated not being dead.
I mean, that's definitely a good thing to celebrate. Were you a little bit flashy about it? And he, it is loaded with that dad, mom, so you have anything to tell me? I got a call from school today.
I mean...
I don't really remember much of that night.
Yeah, we were... Yeah.
Yeah. Because, word is getting around, not too terribly much, but the people who know, that a rather distinct looking young lady was seen with two less distinct man and woman, and had a really good time and closed a bar out and was flinging money left and right, and it got well, the term that was mentioned was orgiastic, and just a proper bacchanal, I think. So it sounds like you weren't the only ones having a great time. Everybody had a great time, and
infinite money. You can buy infinite rounds for the bar.
I am aware. There is that definite I can't be mad because I've done that too. But
yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Right. So the
So someone noticed.
A few people noticed, and word got around to the Silver Ladder, and they're calling you to court, for lack of a better term, on breaking the Lex Magica. Casting magic in front of sleepers, knowingly causing breaking points. Well, of course, he doesn't say the term breaking points, but, those kind of things can't stand. And I'll be honest, having a great party and stuff like that, I can't be mad at that. And celebrating a kill, for lack of a better term, like as an arrow, I get that. But at this point, you and the Cabal are far too high profile for something like this to just be kids having fun, oops, kind of things. Especially at your level of knowledge and power, this is the kind of thing that makes the Guardians get really squirrely. And you're talking about, you have death magic and mind magic and the things that you could do subtly around mages, around sleepers. This is the kind of thing that basically the Silver Ladder want to nip in the bud. Because if you're doing stuff flashy, that brings the question of what are you doing that people aren't noticing, and kind of does a little half glance down at the orrery and then the jar that has a soul in it, and goes, I'm not asking questions. Like, I am not here as, somebody investigating. I'm letting you know what is up and that you're basically going to be, that like this is going to come up at the next Consilium meeting. If you have a defense for yourself and like doesn't look good for you, kind of face. So that's coming up. And I guess this is where I do the stereotypical, don't leave town thing.
Sure.
I don't think. Yeah.
I'm assuming my brain broke because of a paradox condition isn't a defense.
No. Because that's one of those things of, if you have that condition, that's, you, in terms of mechanics,
you don't think there's anything wrong with you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're just leaning into this and afterwards realize, that may not have been the best thing, or you maybe don't.
Everyone will remember this.
Yeah. But yeah, very and Clausa says, listen, I'm here, not the Interfector, because everything that we have seen, everything that we have seen from you has been that you are a positive and helpful member of our Consilium. You have supported your Cabal, you have supported this Consilium, you have supported the other supernaturals who live and share the same space as we do. We know you were a good person. But the methods and the things that you are doing on your free time, we have to have a talk. And one of those things are, I'm going to be looking at your soul at the Consilium meeting. It will just be me and you and representative you trust. To basically make sure I'm not doing anything while I'm in there, or anything like that. We basically are making sure that you're okay. And then there may be some talk of penance and what you're going to do to make it up to the Consilium for your bad behavior. Very likely it will be a slap on the wrist and you'll have to do community service of some kind. As if you weren't already.
I say praise mage.
Do that, yeah.
Praise mage Jesus 40 times.
Right. That's more of a guardian thing, but and you can definitely tell, like, he doesn't like this gig, this part of the job where he's got to come to somebody who's generally a good person to be like, hey, what have you been doing? Kind of shitty. He prefers to be like, wow, you murdered somebody and like, let's go track him down.
Yeah.
That's much more his thing. But yeah, basic and says, so that's kind of where we're at. Do you have any questions or concerns or a straightforward alibi that wasn't me or anything like that?
No. I mean, yeah, no, that was me. Yeah, I don't have much to offer in the way of pretending that wasn't me.
Sure. Okay. No, pictures don't actually matter, chat, because somebody can definitely look like somebody else real easy.
There's time picks too, so.
Time picks, and then also signature nimbus. That's a hell of a thing. So he goes, okay. And like I said, I think this is going to be a small thing. Shouldn't be a problem. As far as I am aware, nobody had their head explode or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, did I, like, break someone?
There are a couple reports of people who are not okay. They'll recover.
All she did was throw a bunch of money around.
And then the life spell for everybody partying. And
fair.
Yeah. Nobody is irreparably harmed. Silver Ladder are looking into a couple folks who are a little bit addled. But let's be honest. That's one of the ways you end up becoming a mage. So may work out in their favor. But also it's a no-no. So and checking up on them and taking care of them may end up being your community service, which, considering what I know about you and what you do, seems appropriate.
I would like to fix that if I could.
I'll bring that up before the counselors, before the meeting. That way, yeah, your oh my gosh. Sorry. Colossus doesn't, where you feel bad. What's that fancy word for it?
Remorse.
Damn. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Your remorse and desire to fix what you broke, is probably going to be seen as a, pretty positive thing. So, yeah, we'll, I'll pass that along.
Okay. When is this?
If I remember correctly, it's going to be like in a week or two.
Okay.
But otherwise, you're good? You're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then stepping back from my Sentinel role and speaking Morrows, you're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now speaking as Songbirds, no, I'm good. He gets up and kind of lets himself out. Q and Dreadnought both immediately do the Scooby-Doo, like, look in. Like, well, there's no spell casting. What's going on in here? I think actually Q probably jumps straight to, okay, now that he's gone, can we get back to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys sit down and delve back into Graves' soul or soulstone. Cool. Question for Songbird. Were you there to see that or anything like that? Or okay.
You muted.
He shook his head.
I wasn't muted, I just didn't speak loud enough.
Okay. But yeah, this is the part where we have that chunk of downtime. If there's anything you guys are wanting to do or chat with people, if Atratus is wanting to jump into, hey, I'm going to go find out whoever I harmed and start fixing that now, or wait until Consilium, we have kind of some amorphous week or two here to work with. Otherwise, we can...
For that, I wouldn't jump into it right now just because I would be worried about fucking it up even more.
Right. And if you do it wrong, then somebody's like, oh, she's covering up the evidence. And
yeah. If I'm being tribunaled for this, I'm not going to go mucking around in it yet.
Cool. Anything that Weird or Songbird are up to?
I was going to give a day or so and then reach out to Val.
Okay, cool. Via phone?
Yeah.
Okay. And use a fate spell for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes.
Because I don't know Vala's digits, right?
Nope. And now here's, trust me, you do not have Vala's phone number. So here's the question. Are you calling Vala or are you arranging that your paths meet?
That's really tempting. But I think I'll be polite and I will call Vala.
Okay. A little less intrusive.
Yes.
So, yes.
The polite thing would be to lucky number a text message and say, hey, this is weird. Can I call you?
Oh, that's
Sure.
also an option. Okay, cool. So the problem is that goes to the nearest phone, not necessarily to Vala's phone.
Yeah, so that's why I
basically, phone starts to ring, and then you hear what sounds like a fairly rough connection and kind of a little metal clank kind of sound. And it's like, holy shit, am I actually calling a payphone? You hear a fairly masculine voice go, hello?
Hi, I'm looking for Vala.
Who is this?
Weird.
I'll call you back.
Thank you.
Click. It is another hour.
Sure.
So
I'm sitting on the couch, phone is out on the table, and I'm just like staring at
it. People walk by. Do you need something weird? No, go away. Watching the phone. And then does Vala have a phone? They have a cell phone that is a payphone because mage. Yeah. About an hour later, you get another call. You get a call from Vala. You recognize that same kind of amorphous, flowing, changing register of voice. And Vala goes, hello, Weird.
Hi.
What's up?
We'll get straight to the point. I want to expand my role within the Guardians.
Okay. And what service do you think you can provide to the Guardians?
Frankly, whatever's needed.
No, not what you're willing to do. What are you good at?
Good at subterfuge, stealth, subtle things. I appear to have a knack for creating situations that can make life uncomfortable, unpleasant, or lethal for other people.
I might argue with you about your ability to be stealthy. That might be
Subtle.
a natural. That might be a natural thing for you, and subtle nudgings. I can understand that, but
in my defense, my cabal is not the most subtle.
And that's very true. I more speak about your personal arcana as I understand it. You are able to work subtly, but I don't know how invisible one you might appear as. But if you are willing to expand in that, I will, make note of that. It was like, hang on. Yeah, because it was like, no, actually, Weird doesn't have any stealth arcana. I was like, it's like mine, no. Forces, no. Death. Well, I got one death, but not enough. But okay,
dude, I got fate. I can literally write someone's doom.
Sure, but not necessarily stealth.
How is that stealthy?
Yeah, but yeah, that said, so Volunteer goes, okay, very well, and. What are you? Well, I mean, if you're coming to me, that suggests that you're, ready to take up anything a guardian the Guardians might need of you. So when can you leave your cabal?
That won't be an option.
Okay, so you're not willing to do anything for the Guardians.
It isn't. You've heard about my legacy?
I have. I know you can't leave your cabal, but you told me that you're willing to do anything the Guardians ask of you.
With that one caveat.
I appreciate that. But, I mean, we're mages, weird. And you, of all people, as I understand it, are big into words and what you say, right?
Yes.
Okay. That said, there's one immediate task that I need you to work on.
Okay.
I will admit that it will probably be disconcerting and difficult. It is probably one of the hardest things for any Guardian to be asked to do. But I need you to develop a mask. I need you to develop several, preferably, because there will be times when you cannot be Weird the Seer.
I've already been giving that some thought. I'll do it.
I mean, words are cheap after all, right? Weird. I know. Vala is not an acanthus. But no, and I mean to be disruptive and push your boundaries here a little bit. If you're willing to do whatever we ask of you within your realm of limits, I can appreciate that. I can also appreciate you caring for your cabal. It has been a while since I have had a cabal myself, but I remember the camaraderie and the togetherness. And even though your cabal are not all Guardians, there is something to be said about working together across the orders, which is half of the job that, we expect of you. The other half, we'll start to discuss that. But start to develop a mask when you feel like you can separate a portion of your soul out and be another person. Then we'll begin to talk about what you can do in New York.
Okay.
Okay. And keep this number.
I will.
Okay. And then click.
Sets the phone down and just kind of sits back and looks at it for
and then immediately saves the number in the phone.
Yes.
Love when people call weird on her shit. It's so good.
It actually went way better than I thought it would.
Do not tell the Eptot that you're willing to do anything and then immediately go, well, I'm not willing to do
She
everything.
immediately started in. I was going to get to that, but
yeah. But
I'm not going to try and snow blind the Eptot.
Oh, yeah. No, but very specifically, and it's something that Weird hasn't had the chance to experience directly, but Vala is a Mastigos, and Vala will push the boundaries, and if you say something and you don't 100% mean it, she's going to call you on it. But like she said, you can say whatever you want, though, until you actually do it. It doesn't matter. But, oh, yeah, I'll do this, but I won't actually do it. Well, why'd you say it? Yeah. Now, that said, most of what you got from Vala is very clearly that they're, at this point, just kind of prodding you because it's that whole oh my God, what's the movie? Are you dragging or are you too fast? Whiplash. Like that, we will make you better and you will probably not like the experience. Very classic Mastigos. Do or do not, there is no try. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So Word's take on that is that this is a test.
To see if you'll actually do more than be an ambassador to the orders. Yes.
Yeah, and there will probably be several tests involved in this whole process.
Forever tested.
Mm-hmm.
My personal interpretation of the Guardians as best represented in fiction is Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
The whole shit. What are they actually called?
Brotherhood. The Brotherhood of Shadow.
Brotherhood of Shadows. Yeah. That just all seems very guardian hidden. I mean, there's a little bit of arrow from being combative and stuff like that, but like
challenge
these are the
every
secrets.
throne.
These are the challenge. Yeah.
Yep. Challenge every throne. Probably the best part of Guardians, in my opinion. I say as somebody who is usually Silver Ladder and therefore sitting on the throne.
On a throne.
Watch the throne.
Yep. Cool. Anybody else doing anything in this kind of little time gap?
In our downtime, I was going to ask Songbird to help, like, scrub a Nimbus off of, like, Logan and Alicia, because they've definitely picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't do that.
Yeah, now, bear in mind, can scrub the signature Nimbus.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Long-term Nimbus, you can't scrub.
You might be connected enough to them at this point that it's spreading to them.
Yep. Which, especially, considering the amount of Gnosis that the Cabal has, Atratus's probably isn't showing up on people yet because she's trailing behind at 5. Oh God, only 5. Merely human currently. But both Songbird and, Weirds are definitely starting to show up in places. Weird's already been around with, ravens that just hang around the Rookery all the time. It's raining. Doesn't matter. They're still out there. And Songbird, I imagine, especially if we use that little... Oh, sorry, I forgot to share that on Discord. I will remember the little backyard space of the Rookery. Like, people have been out there. Judd and Titus are like, we're going to clean this place out. Where are these roots coming from? Where? And they're huge. What fucking tree are they connected to? Oops, Yggdrasil.
I would imagine that is popping up around Judd.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten into this too much, but I think of like our other Cabal members that Songbird has developed the best connection with Judd.
Mm-hmm.
Through
between
like training him and like
the indefinite spell alone. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that I think is definitely showing up with Judd, and that kind of makes sense, especially because as we mentioned before, Judd goes down to the gym with you and stuff like that, and so you guys have
So there is like specifically for him, there's crossover between my mundane and my shadow name,
right?
But like otherwise, like I never have a spell on in the gym, and like I stay out of my shadow name for it and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, eventually it probably will get there, but like I don't like Songbird is being as careful about it as possible.
So is the gym Songbird's gym, or is it a gym for Songbird? Oh,
it is definitely like Songbird's gym because like
it is Acanthus's gym.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And no, long-term Nimbus isn't necessarily bad for clean freaks. Some people's long-term Nimbus just shows up as emotional things or random chance that happens. It doesn't necessarily leave birds and tree roots ever. Atratus's, for instance, is going to be just fine for clean freaks. It's just going to be, did that shadow just move?
Yeah, just weird extra shadows sometimes, maybe.
Like, what is that shadow attached to? Thing?
Yeah, I figured that especially as Gnosis has gone up, I haven't rewritten it in the thing, but it's gone from just like, it's generally kind of shady here, to just like, no, look down, you have 2 shadows.
Or none.
Or none.
So, don't worry, Peter Pan just ran off with it. He'll bring it back later.
Oh, your shadow's on the wall over there, but it's not connected to you in any way. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna roll a couple more times for the route and probably finish it off on this over here. And then
so you got those 8. Jesus. All right. So that's 3 sets of 4. Because how many
before
did
I
you
rolled
need?
those 4, before I rolled those 4, I needed 8 more.
Right. Like,
I'm fine with it sitting at 1 left to go, knowing that I'm very close to it.
I imagine it's one of those like, Songbird, no, really, we need to go to the Consilium meeting. Hang on, I'm almost got it.
Almost done.
And then rolls don't seem to be showing up.
I see that.
Are you scrolled weird?
And there they all are now. I think. Double checking.
Yeah, they're there now.
Okay. Cool. It just took a while for
the other thing, because we talked about over the week about some stuff with Hadramiel, but I was wondering if there is any. Have I had any duties as provost?
Probably.
For the Consilium.
Yeah, probably.
And if there's anything interesting happening there.
Nothing specifically. A lot of this stuff, I actually imagine Songbird probably has an idea that about Atratus's situation, probably the same day as because between Hadramiel being involved in it as a counselor and various paperwork, and then Hadramiel probably going, hey, by the way. And giving you that little heads up, but otherwise I imagine it's very status quo kind of stuff. There's probably Hadramiel's job within the Consilium is basically he's the go-to guy for Obrimos, naturally,
right.
But he is also the guy for setting up wards and sanctums. Like, a place needs to be consecrated, especially for like bigger Consilium workings. It's like, hey, these 4 or 5 mages are getting together. They're not part of a cabal. They don't have a central theme. And so it's like, okay, we're going to get all you guys together with Hadramiel, and Hadramiel is the guy who's going to get everybody together, find the common threads to make a sanctum that will actually work for this particular task. Because, and when when they're done, they're all going to vacate and,
right.
But yeah, generally speaking, yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I imagine he and that kind of leans into the geomancy thing a little bit with Songbird. But yeah, generally speaking, and mostly because our chronicle hasn't been too heavy about those politics and stuff like that. It's just like there's some stuff you do similar to you still have fights and things like that. Next chronicle, we are definitely going to talk about day jobs and having like families, maybe. Yeah. I've been having ideas about the next chronicle, and it is like I need to behave and not rush through this one because
we're still several months away at least.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Definitely.
Plus intermediary games that we've talked about too. So.
Yep. What happens to Weird if the Cabal disbands? Oh boy, Fox, you don't even want to know. Which also puts it in Weird's favor to recruit heavily if it looks like the Cabal is going bad places. need to right this ship.
And we didn't really talk about it or anything, but I don't even know. As long as the Rookery is around, is we're going to stick around like some sort of zombie or something? We don't even know. Weird doesn't even know.
Nope.
She's just bound her fate to the Rookeries.
Fate and destiny too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mystery. Yeah. So that said, do we fast forward then to the Consilium meeting?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, as always, and as the art has been provided and is in our OA art gallery on Discord, yeetinto.space, go check it out. The Cabal glams up because, damn it, we're from Manhattan and we're going to look fancy and birdie. And when you have two people who are really, really good with matter, yeah, just clothes fit perfectly, and B, they do impossible bullshit. I didn't know you could shape metal like that. Well, you can with Matter 3.
You can't.
Yeah.
So yes, the Cabal shows up in and looking good. And is there any apprehension from Atratus, or based on your wisdom?
Did Atratus give us a heads up or anything?
Oh, that's actually a good question. Because Songbird knows, but
would not have said anything to Atratus about it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have told y'all, like getting tribunaled, I guess.
Getting tribunaled, I guess. I have a court date, I guess.
What's a tribunal but with 6? Hexbunaled? Okay. Yeah. So
6?
Yeah.
6?
5 counselors and a hierarch.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Perry. Yes, I do think it's still a tribunal. Yeah. I think we just used tribunal because that used to be 3. Yeah, so any apprehension? How are you all feeling going in, knowing that, Atratus is about to be court-martialed?
I mean, I'm also about to show off that I'm a double master, so I'm pretty stoked.
Sure.
For me, it's just like, also because I'm getting punished for going out and having a party.
Right.
No.
You're getting punished for being caught.
Right.
You're being punished for going out and throwing magic all over the place and destroying it.
Now, bear in mind, of course, I think some of this is also Ash portraying Atratus's low wisdom.
Yeah, just in character, it's I was just having a good time. Now I'm getting strung up. But
the crime of partying too hard.
The crime of partying too hard.
Yep.
Party wolf.
Yeah, it's listen, if you had done this with a bunch of the werewolves, it probably would have been fine. You went out in public is the problem. But yes.
Lesson learned, party at home.
Party at home. It's cheaper and probably safer. So yes, the Consilium meeting goes through a lot of the standard stuff. As Songbird mentioned, Chris mentioned, hey guys, force is 5. Poof, I make a fireball. Poof, I make it go away. Poof, fireball. Poof, go away. Actually, is that what you use to show off? Because I mean, let's be honest, you get to show off to be a double master. You only get to do that, well, technically once. But is there any particular thing that you think that, Songbird would do to show off being a Forces 5 mage?
Yeah, probably, because the other options are all pretty destructive. I guess I could create a small tornado.
There you go. It's behold, this little itty bitty table on the the desk or whatever. Yeah. I immediately went to, I create the sound of a metal concert right here.
What's the phrase? Something, tempest in a tea?
Yeah, tempest in a teapot.
There you go. Yeah, something like that. Where it's just hey, I don't want to fuck all y'all shit up, but
it has that sound effect too. Yep. So yeah, it goes through that, and a few other people, showing their mastery. A couple cabals are officially forming or disbanding based on tasks and jobs that, obsessions that they were built around. And it's we've resolved that and we're done. And so we're going our separate ways kind of thing.
I also get to show off. I hit death 5.
Oh, that's right. Previously you hadn't. Yep. Yeah. So
here's my evidence. Souls.
Create a ghost, bye-bye ghost. I don't know. How do you think Atratus might show off being a Death 5 master?
I'm going to take, pull out of my bag a little box with a dead butterfly in it. And then I'm going to cast an Eye of the Reaper and make it get up and fly around.
Cool.
That is far less creepy than what you could do with Death 5. But no,
making
that's
a Varnian gate right in the middle of the group.
Yep. sentences, Perry. Anyways, go away. Twitch chat, I love you. Yeah.
Atratus at low wisdom just goes, y'all want to go to hell?
Here's an Avernian gate, which is fucking terrifying. Drop him off literally at the Phantasm Society.
Yeah, just like, hey, here's my friend's border town in hell if you want to go visit.
It's not that the mastery bits are lame, it's that showing it off to demonstrate that you can do something while not, eradicating all the energy of someone's body and instantly killing them just to show off that you've got the big dick forces spell,
Yeah.
So Night Reaper is actually really cool. I hadn't really grasped the fact that it undecays everything.
Yep.
So it's not just like bring a dead thing back to life. It's like take something that's rotten and fix it.
Oh yeah, no, trust me. This is the one that I thought Anthropology Atratus would fucking love.
Yeah.
Now that said, you need a lot of potency to work on some of that really old shit. But like, oh hey, there's this tattered manual that somebody burned in a fire recently. I can fix that.
Fix it. Yeah.
Yep. Then as they basically go through that various new business, basically it comes to the airing of grievances of kind of things, and there is a definite okay, yeah, haha, ooh, butterfly, ooh, fireballs, and then it's like, oh, okay, now this is the shitty part, and everybody is sitting in watching effectively, and there's a couple other things that come up beforehand, basically as the counselors and hierarch kind of sit in judgment over a couple disagreements, and hey, he's totally stole my grimoire. He's like, no, I didn't steal your grimoire, I copied it, and then I burned the original. It's like, whoa, hang on, that's
hold on here,
right? And some of that bullshit, and it's like, man. But then eventually Atratus is basically called forward, and the let's say prosecutor, for lack of a better term, is Borsine, who kind of gives Weird a look and goes, sorry, but it's I know, but it's the job, and basically brings forth the description of the events and what happened, and basically Atratus is like, not guilty, or excuse me, guilty, sorry, was me, and with that, Colossus steps forward, and looks to Atratus and said, and who is your representative?
Probably Songbird.
Okay.
Come watch what they do at my soul. I feel like a Moros would be better, but I don't know. I'm not close to any Moros.
I mean Dreadnought, but yeah. Then that's fine. And basically the three of you kind of step away, and business continues. Basically, any of the court kind of stuff is bypassed because Atratus is like, yep, guilty, sorry. And because of that, okay, we gotta look at how's your wisdom doing? Are you tainted by the abyss? Or anything like that. And yes, the three of you are.
Yeah, no one around here has been tainted by the abyss.
Just I'm fine.
Now, that said, having the abyssal, nimbus and then scouring it, that's kind of standard stuff. The whole, lowering wisdom and being tainted by the abyss becomes scary. And basically the three of you, in this big auditorium that is also the inside of a mansion, basically make your way over to a side chamber, for lack of a better term. Songbird, Colossus kind of sits in the middle and kind of gestures for Atratus and Songbird to sit, and says, "Okay, as I understand it, this doesn't hurt. but it's
That's
probably
comforting.
not going to feel pleasant. And then casts Sever the Awakened Soul.
Oh shit.
Yep. And draws it out. And then with you guys all sitting there in what you realize is a hallow, basically kind of without a whole bunch of die rolling here, link minds and delve into Atratus' soul. In case anybody's curious, the whole like pulling the soul out is she can't cast spells, and then if do get in there and be like, oh my god, you have wisdom 1 and you're crazy a bit. Okay, we got to jump out of here and run away with your soul before you go, nuts and do something terrible. So you guys quickly arrive in Atratus' soul, where Colossus is greeted with Phoenix and other Atratus bearing a Tommy gun. Who's this guy? It's like, okay, hang on.
Yeah.
So a couple questions, just because I don't want to drag this out super long narratively. Are there any no-go places, or do you let Colossus kind of walk about your soul and investigate?
I don't want to let him into like doing of my soul house that has like my memories from before.
So before your awakening? There is definite like consternation and like I'm not so sure about that. So roll persuasion plus or however you would like to like plead your case, because it's a reasonable request. Listen, that's my private life. It's before my awakening.
Yeah.
Like
that person is literally
also
dead.
It sucks.
Also, it sucks. It's just bummers.
That's true.
Yeah,
Songbird, do you
persuasion and you're gonna help? It's just like I've been there. It's shitty.
Yeah, are you actually going to like chime in and be like, no, I've seen that stuff and it's not relevant?
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and whatever die pool. Actually, you can roll whatever you would like to assist, and those dice will go to Atratus's pleading to Colossus. Whatever you are deciding to roll, though, Ash, it is going to be at a -5.
Rolling persuasion and composure.
Okay. And then plus 3. Mm-hmm. -5, so -2. Yeah, just 1 success is needed. That's what you get.
Got it.
So yeah, there is some definite like. Okay, and like kind of looks between the two of you and says, technically this is against regulations, and I'm supposed to see everything. But because, as far as I know, you're a good woman, and Songbird is my student, and I will kick his ass if he's lying to me. Also, Songbird, you can't lie worth a damn.
Sure.
Okay, I can respect that.
I would say the whole thing in high speech even. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. And so yeah, you guys.
Songbird definitely flexes on people with that all the time now.
The fluent high speech.
It's just become another showboaty thing. Like, oh yeah, hey, do you know how to speak high speech like fluidly though? Do you?
Fucking Obrimos. Because let's be honest, most of the Obrimos, they're the ones who do the fluent high speech. And the Silver Ladder. But yeah,
I was going to say Silver Ladder, definitely.
Yeah. But you guys make your way through various different chambers of your own Euros, and I imagine actually with other Atratus, the daemon, as basically a tour guide, and being like, okay, that's fine, we're going to let him in and let him see stuff. And basically you guys reconvene back outside, and Colossus gently kind of ushers your soul back into you, and boy, does it feel much better. Oh, good, because I just realized you couldn't actually spend willpower on that. You didn't, but so afterwards he sits and goes, I mean, it is, in my professional opinion, Atratus, that you need some help. And I think because as far as I can think this is the first time Songbird has been back in, or anybody really has been inside of Euroneros.
Except for
because-
my students.
Now, because that's true. But I couldn't remember. Had you said you were inviting them in, or because you can pull Phoenix out?
No, I was bringing them in, and we were going to just like meeting, and in my mind, this is like just a massively sized Victorian mansion. It's like a nice little Victorian house, only it just keeps going. And so we'd show up and have like tea in the little parlor room and chat.
Gotcha.
So that's how I'm introducing them to the Phoenix. And
yeah, I like that. And in my head, Ebon Phoenix has a good relationship with their daemon, because the daemon is technically the one who makes the scene. And, I think the relationship, especially the whole, we've got rid of Emily, we are now Atratus, and we're working on that, I think is something that she's on board with, because she's like, oh yeah, no, that old shit sucked. No, we're going this way. Coming out, Colossus is like, you need some help. You're on a, I hate the fucking term, but you're on a slippery slope. Like the fact that like you've seen some stuff, and like the three of you just looked at a bunch of memories through, a Atratus lens, and it's like, yep, killed a guy because he killed Gabe, killed another guy because he pissed me off, killed another guy because, it was easy, and, it got us, a step closer to this grimoire. And bear in mind, I am paraphrasing what I'm getting from Atratus, but feel free to correct me. But it's, it was easy, it was quick. It wasn't really a big deal. I think it's kind of the vibe that Atratus had with.
It was also more. Everyone else was going along with it, so sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if at any point Songbird or Word had been like, "No, we shouldn't kill this guy," I would be like, "Okay," but like, Songbird kills people on the regular, and it's fine. So like, why shouldn't it be fine for me?
In short, because A, got lucky on some rolls, and B, it nerd that fucking spell. But yeah, and Weird. Weird has actually for quite a few sessions, quite a few weeks and months now, has been working to shore up her wisdom. Because how many drops in wisdom has Weird had? 2 or 3 at least.
2.
That you've kind of reversed? Yeah, okay.
You went down to 6 and then bought up to 8 and then brought back down to 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Ash just can't roll dice, that's all.
Yeah. But,
but that makes sense too.
That was a good story, though.
Everyone reacts differently to different circumstances, right? So it makes sense that two people might have the exact same experience, and one suffers a wisdom loss where the other one doesn't.
Yep. And same thing shows up in with mortals with breaking points too. But yeah, like I said, Colossus is, I'm not, you are a good person, but what's the idiom? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And like it, a mage as powerful and as talented as you can absolutely wreck some people just to fix them, just to help them out. And it's terrifying.
I wouldn't, though, is the thing, because
gestures broadly.
Right.
No, it's like autonomy and being in control of your own thoughts. I'm not fucking with someone's brain. Like,
Sure.
I've got 4 dots in mind magic to not use most of it specifically.
Sure.
Very strongly of the opinion that most Mastigos are horrifying. Like, if this is what you were just naturally drawn to, I'm having trouble trusting, because this is like the most insidious magic.
Says the mage who pulls people's souls out. But yeah, no, and like I said, this is all in character. Like it's and he will happily sit there, and especially because like he has some modicum of mind magic, but yeah, he's a Death Moro's prime, like he is a very, similar to Songbird, is a very like gross arcana kind of person. And he does the heavy lifting kind of stuff. Wait,
what does he have besides matter, prime,
matter, death, forces, a little bit of mind, and a little bit of life. But the three big
fairly
ones
equal
are
split.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the big ones for him are the Forge Master ones, basically, and death, obviously.
That's too subtle and one gross, but
I guess that's true. Yeah. I always forget Prime is the subtle one because forces is really subtle.
Forces.
But yeah, so you guys have a good back and forth on stuff, and the big thing that Colossus brings across is no, you absolutely wouldn't do that now, but it becomes very, very easy. And he points and he's like, Mastigos are terrifying, and most of them wouldn't do anything. Same boat you're in. I have all this stuff, but I would never do that to take away somebody's autonomy. I would never do anything to delve into somebody's mind without permission. I would never do this thing, but it becomes so easy. And I don't know that he necessarily uses the word rampant or megalomaniacal, but it's so easy that once we start going, that we find ourselves falling farther and farther into the trap of magic just makes it a little bit easier. I don't necessarily want to draw this out into a big dramatic conversation also because we're running towards the end of the episode. Basically Colossus says, you're safe. We're not too, we're not stressed, but this is the warning, like, hey, pull up on the stick. Kind of thing. And then
this is your come to Mage Jesus talk.
Do less murders is what I'm getting.
Yeah. When it's and the thing he points out is like it's not the murder thing. Because
is it not though?
Well, because you have to remember it's not the murder itself, it's how you view the murder. Because he's like, hey, adamantine arrow here, and gestures at Songbird. It's like the murder itself isn't the problem. It's the rationalizing it and understanding why you had to do it, kind of thing. It, just reiterating what wisdom is, in terms. But then leads the two of you out. Everybody kind of finish up, whatever little minor squabble is going on. It may be a dual arcane because two Mysterium folks are arguing about, the proper codification of this particular thing. And, it's nerd fight. And Songbird is mildly upset that he missed the start of this. I love the visual play-by-play. Podcast guys, you miss out. You got to come join us on YouTube or Twitch. Afterwards, basically Colossus brings his findings of no, there's no degradation of her soul, no abyssal taint upon her. Atratus is in fine health. And it is in the opinion of the Sentinel that this is not an immediate concern for us. And basically the Borsian kind of nods and says okay, and passes it on to the counselors for sentencing, which, as Colossus kind of noted before, you're basically considering your abilities and natural talents, and the fact that you're the ambassador, you're expected to go see to the three sleepers who were severely addled, basically suffered a dramatic failure with their breaking point, and basically check with them, fix them up, restore them, see that they are taken care of appropriately. And that is, basically they're like, it's the whole, like, we're going to go make you look at the consequences of your actions kind of punishment. And the fact that, it matches to Atratus's talents to a T. They're like, no, this one wrote itself.
Go fix what you broke.
Yeah.
Gotta go smoke this whole pack of cigarettes.
Oh, never smoked once, and that just sounds fucking terrible. And with that bit of night court, that is the end of the episode. YouTube guys will be back on Friday. Twitch guys will be back in just a minute. As always, I'm doing these out of order, but it's okay. As always, if you want to support us monetarily, that's patreon.com/Occultists Anonymous, or staylucky.club, which is just so much of a better URL. Thank you, Perry, for those, by the way. And if you want to join us on Discord, that is yeetinto.space. I have no idea any other way to join. Well, I guess there's links down in the, what's Matt Colville call it? The doobly-doo. You can check in the summary and description down there and find the link directly to Discord, or just yeetinto.space, and that's the quick way. Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Stay lucky.